So, if you're in the market to upgrade your boat, you certainly want to do some shopping when it comes to improving your sound system. Well, marine audio is an intricate thing and it comes with specific characteristics that you need to know about. One such brand that does an excellent job with innovative products is Memphis Audio. Today, we've invited their CEO, Nick Lomonaco, to go through with us a couple of the leading technology products that they have to offer. This is CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM, all about Memphis Audio. And it starts now. And welcome to another CMA Connected here on CMA Networks. Today we're talking marine audio with Memphis Audio, certainly a big catalog to go through. Again, as mentioned, we have Nick Lomonaco, their CEO, that will be joining us, along with product expert Ellis Mathis, also to give us a little bit of insight. But first, a quick message from our partner SiriusXM, reminding you why it's always a great add-on sale for any dealer.
Hi, Paul Truman here with SiriusXM. We reached out to some of our partners in the industry, and here's what they had to say.
I can't say more or enough about just what it means to have our unit working with SiriusXM. It's like we're there now.
The SiriusXM service is something consumers want, right? So it's Paul.
That allows a consumer to listen to either podcasts, entertainment, sports, all at their fingertips. It's all about engagement, and that's what SiriusXM provides.
SiriusXM is a huge component in a vehicle nowadays. Consumers expect that technology to be available both in our OEM system as well as the aftermarket upgrades that they're applying to their vehicle.
Alpine and SiriusXM, through our electronics, are able to offer the consumer on the aftermarket side SiriusXM 360L, which is an expanded platform for SiriusXM. And it's really been a beneficial relationship for us with SiriusXM.
As a dealer, just remember, we don't compete with anybody else. We are absolutely one of the best profitability accessories you can add to any head unit that is SiriusXM ready.
All right, let's get this show underway. Nick, once again, welcome to Connected. We get to chit-chat a little bit about so many cool things in audio. Today, specifically, we're talking about marine audio. Now, I did want to mention that maybe Memphis Audio isn't that top of mind brand when you're thinking about marine audio. But Nick, I got to be honest, the catalog that you have to offer offers amazing value.
Yeah, Ben, like Memphis, we like to do awesome products for a great value, and Marine is no different. And especially in the Marine line, we've got some extremely innovative products. So in addition to that value, we're going to give you some innovation that no one else has in our tower speakers. And we're also going to talk about a few other products that really showcase what Memphis can do, what we can bring to the Marine power sports type product. Great value with amazing performance.
You know, Nick, I really like what you said there. The word innovation, I use it very much when I talk about Memphis Audio because you guys, let's be honest, come up with some pretty innovative stuff. Starting with the first item on our list for today. Now, I remember the first time I seen these things and I was like, whoa, what am I looking at here? We're talking, of course, about the tower speakers that you guys came up with a unique technology called ATAC or ATAC. Let's get into it a little bit. Nick, at this time, we're also going to bring in Ellis Mathis, who obviously is a product expert with you guys and a director of sales. Ellis, also welcome to the show. Now, guys, this is something that dealers and consumers really need to know about. All right, guys, let's get into it. The ATAC equipped wake tower speaker, really unique. Let's start with you, Nick. We've had a chance to talk about it, but now it's been out there in the field. So what's your thoughts on the success behind these innovative wake tower design speakers?
Well, Ben, like you said, the first time you saw them, they look completely different than any other tower on the market. So if you're looking at virtually every other brand, you're going to be like, these look completely different. And that's because we took the cues from Pro Audio, from concerts, and a line array of speakers and put the line array of tweeters to make it sound better and give you better sound, better dispersion, all that stuff. So far, the people that are willing to take the plunge and try this new innovative technology are very happy with their decision for sure.
And that's interesting to say, because if you understand marine audio, the purpose of these type of speakers are to throw that sound not right in front of you, but really quite a distance back, because I mean, they're intended so that the person who is wakeboarding behind the boat actually gets that full experience. Ellis, I want to get a little bit deeper into the technology here. And what are we actually achieving with this new design?
So with the new ATAC design, it allows us to basically have the same volume, same level of output we had previously with the horn-loaded tweeters, but this is a much better sounding speaker. The sound quality is much higher.
So interesting that you mentioned that, because one thing that we do see quite often in this category of speaker is that, compressed driver. Now, I think there are some advantages to that, right? They do tend to give more volume, but what you're saying here is a more precise sound. So am I to understand that by having an array of these more higher quality sounding tweeters, you're still getting that kind of volume, Nick?
Yeah, the great part about the having 3 tweeters on the 8 and 4 tweeters on the 10 is you're not sacrificing any output, you're not sacrificing any decay, which means the amount of output over distance compared to the compression driver. So before we thought you had to have the compression driver to get that sound at a distance, now you can get, like Ellis mentioned, a much higher quality sound with the same output and rate of decay over
All
distance.
right. So we understand the sound quality, which is obviously a huge benefit. Let's talk about the long-term longevity of this product. Obviously, this is built for the marine environment. So with this type of tweeter, are there any benefits long-term to how these kind of products will endure the elements, Ellis?
There is actually a big benefit. If you're using the traditional horn-loaded tweeter, you're basically having to create a hole in the middle of the 8 or 10-inch driver for the horn to play through. But that allows for dust, dirt, anything bad, water to get inside that speaker. With the new ATAC array, the speaker is completely sealed into the enclosure. So long-term, it's going to hold up and last much longer.
Amazing, amazing. So added benefit there as far as longevity and how robust it's built. So when we're talking about the assortment that you could choose from for outfitting your boat, why don't you walk us through, Nick, what's available with these wake tower speakers?
So with the attack towers, they come in 8 and 10-inch, both in white or black. And as I kind of mentioned before, the 8-inch has 3 tweeters, the 10-inch has 4 tweeters. So you can really dial it in with the size and color. But obviously, we suggest if you can fit 10s, put 10s on there because you're going to get a ton of output on the mid bass as well. Again, like Ellis mentioned, that sealed dust cap in there, so you're going to get much more mid bass out of the enclosure than you are with the standard compression or tweeter center tweeter speaker. So 8s, 10s, white and black.
All right, very cool. I'll finish this off with you, Ellis. When it comes to installation, what do installers need to know as far as hardware options or anything of that nature?
So I'll say this, the speaker installs for the most part the same way our previous one did. The way all the wiring and connection comes out is much neater. So the overall install is going to be neater and cleaner than with the previous setup. But if you've installed ours or any other wake tower speakers, these are going to install very, very similarly.
So there you have it, guys. No doubt in my mind, if you're looking for some slick solutions to a wake can tower speaker for your boat, make sure you check out these ones with the exclusive Memphis ATAC technology. They're touting better audio performance and still the volume and that throw that you're looking for that application. Now, if you're in the market for this type of speaker, but might not have quite the budget to get the full-blown package, and you might want something a little bit more compact, Memphis recently released another version of this called the MXA 62PS. Now, as you can see, this is, multi-purpose. Absolutely could be used for marine. Some people decide to use it for power sports applications. But let's go to Nick here to tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, as you know, the marine category has started to migrate towards power sports, and the marine applications and power sports applications are pretty similar. A lot of elements, outdoor, water, dirt, wind, all that good stuff. So we came out with the MXA 62PS to fill this void for a smaller, less expensive, more compact tower can speaker that works on boats and both on the power sports side. So we use these in our power sports kits, but smaller boats where you don't have a lot of room on the tower, it's an excellent speaker to fit. You're going to get tons of output. It's going to take up less space, and it's super light and easy to install.
This is a very versatile speaker. It is water, element, and UV resistant. Polypropylene woofer for the 6.5. We're using a PEI dome tweeter. These are going to have 360 swivel. So no matter what vehicle you're mounting it on, there's always a great solution for mounting. These do have RGB lighting included, as well as 75 watts RMS power handling and 150 watts max power handling.
All right, guys. So we took a second here to talk about the two different, can speaker offerings that you have, both in the premium version with the bridge with the ATAC technology, as well as the new MXA 62PS. At the end of the day, Nick, if you're a marine dealer or you're a customer, it seems like Memphis has got you covered for this tile speaker.
Yeah, we try to take care of everyone in most of our categories, and this marine category is no different. So whether you're just starting out our power sports or small boat, you can get one of our 62 PSs, and then if you're ready for the big boy, you're ready to add some legit output, some of the best sounding speakers you can buy, we got the ATAC towers for you.
Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention it because I know our audience is waiting for this. Ellis said it, the smaller version has lights, but we didn't talk about the lighting on the bigger version. And what does lighting really do, anyways?
Well, I'll let what Ellis, why don't you tell me what lighting will do, and then I'll inform everyone else what it really does.
Besides creating an awesome aesthetic, it's also going to give you an estimated 3 to 6 dB more output.
Yes, and that is science. I mean, that is hashtag science. So if you've seen some of our other reels by Memphis, especially the ATAC towers, there is a boatload of LEDs on the boat speakers. So it might even be more like 6 to 9 dB of output because there's just so many lights on those things.
Well, at the end of the day, we'll let the listeners decide how much output they get. But one thing is for sure, lighting is obviously a critical part of marine audio because it has to look good as well as sound good. All right. Thanks so much, gentlemen. So we've taken some time to talk about some speaker solutions, but of course, the power set speakers, we need to look at some amplifiers. And Memphis is no slouch when it comes to this category, but one amplifier in particular definitely stands out that we want to put a focus on today, and it's called the MX800.4. I'll start with you, Nick. This amplifier is something you wanted to showcase. Why don't you tell us why?
Well, Ben, when it comes to marine and power sports amplifiers, our customers absolutely love what we put out. And I challenged our engineering team to get a crap load of power in a small box. I wanted to be able to put 800 watts of 4-channel power in virtually any location, whether it was power sports or marine. So that was really the birth of the MX800.4 and why it came to life.
Yeah, the MX800.4, it's a great compact design to fit almost anywhere. It does have conformally coated boards. It's IP66 rated for resisting water and element damage. Multiple input options, output options. This amplifier is going to be 125 watts by 4 at 4 ohm, 200 watts by 4 at 2 ohm, and an abridged mono configuration can put out a max power of 400 watts by 2. So very powerful amp, very small chassis. Great for almost any application in the power sports and marine world.
You know, when I think about amplifiers, guys, especially in the marine environment, obviously there's two things that are really important. Number one, will it last in the environment that we're putting in? Because let's be honest, sometimes space is limited, so they got to be compact. But more so, once these amps are installed, it's not like the customer's going back to them regularly to make sure they're okay. Like these things got to last, right? And the other thing is power. Right. We're talking about open air environments. So, talk to me a little bit, Nick, about the philosophy when it came to designing these amplifiers for this application.
Well, of course, we went with completely sealed connectors. So, they come with pigtails on there so you can solder and clean everything up on the connection side. And then as far as the controls are concerned, we put those behind a sealed panel. So number one, like you mentioned, you kind of set it and forget it and lock it out, but having that nice screw down panel to keep all the water and elements out of the control board is key for, longevity and the elements.
And on that note, if we're looking at the form factor of this amplifier, certainly not too big, lots of areas that you could put this into. But when it comes to system building, Ellis, that kind of power is perfect, especially if you're working on larger.
Correct. This amplifier could easily run 8 speakers on a boat, 8 speakers on a side-by-side, or you could use it in the bridge format to be able to run a pair of subwoofers or a pair of our high-end ATAC tower speakers.
Oh, so we definitely spent some time talking about some cool marine audio product, but we want to touch base real quick on some innovative power sport product. This particular SKU has really found a cult following and has been really selling well. And if you don't know about it, here it is. It's a very specific enclosure with a subwoofer, a 10-inch in fact, for the Can-Am Defender model. And we want to bring it up because it is incredibly unique. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, Ben. Well, the Can-Am Defender has been growing in popularity in North America. So a lot of machines are going out there. So a lot of our customers started asking for bass solutions to get bass inside. And so we're known for doing that. We're known for coming up with cool ideas. So we took a look at that machine and realized underneath the seats, there's a factory toolbox that bolts to a rail underneath the seats. And we're like, well, that toolbox is about the same size as a 10-inch enclosure. So we took that toolbox, copied it in the shape and the way that it bolts to the vehicle, and turned it into a self-powered 10-inch subwoofer.
This Defender sub's made of roto-molded HDPE, so it's very, very rigid to be put in the conditions for their use of a power sports rider. It does have a single 10-inch subwoofer, 350-watt amplifier that does have sealed harnesses, sealed connectors. It also comes with a bass knob, so you can adjust the level of bass output that you want. All the hardware you need to install this comes included in the box. If you have a 2-seat version of the Defender, your subwoofer is going to go under the passenger side seat. If you have the 4-seat, then you have the benefit of being able to add up to 3 of these subs. 1 going under the front passenger seat and 2 going under the rear seats to replace the toolboxes.
So guys, this particular model obviously is an application specific thing, but we wanted to talk about it because within this context of this platform for Defender, it's pretty darn unique. And add to that the fact that you can put not 1, not 2, but up to 3 subwoofers. Can you imagine 3 subwoofers in a side-by-side? Nick, what's the feedback been on this product?
Well, the feedback's been great, and one of the reasons is for what you just mentioned. If you've got a 4-seater, you can put 1 sub under the front passenger seat and then 2 subs under the rear seat. So building a system and adding to it, because they're all self-amplified, it makes it really easy to keep increasing the bass. You start with 1, then get 2, then get 3. So the feedback has been incredible. This is probably one of our most loved vehicle-specific applications.
You know, and on that note, I'm thinking about this from a dealer perspective. You know, you get a bunch of these in stock, and you can easily upgrade that client and step him up. When it comes to like the power, the system building of this, what do you recommend here, Ellis?
So with this, any basic head unit amplifier system you already have installed, if you have a direct fit kit, it's very easy to add the subwoofer into it. It's as simple as power, ground, remote, plug in the RCAs. Even if you want to add multiples, it's very easy to add some RCA Y adapters, distribution blocks to add the separate subwoofers. So if you already have the system installed and you have 1 sub, the customer comes back, they want a little bit more bass, it's really not a whole lot of work to add those 2nd and 3rd subwoofers into the system.
So as you guys can see, an incredible solution, especially for those Defender customers out there. Not only do you get great bass, but you can even upgrade that if you thirst for more. Just a real quick question there for you, Ellis. As far as power, how much amplification do we need to really get these things to shine?
The good thing about this Defender sub is it already has the amplifier built in. So it has a 10-inch sub and a 350-watt amplifier built in. That is the perfect amount of power for this subwoofer.
And there you have it, a quick rundown of 4 hot pieces coming to you from Memphis Audio in the marine power sports category. I want to thank my guests, Nick and Ellis, for joining me today. We covered some cool tower speakers. We talked about a go-to multi-channel amplifier, and of course, that slick active subwoofer enclosure that is modular that can build up to 3 for the new Can-Am Defender. Now, my takeaway from this, Memphis Audio continues to innovate. As you can see, really cool stuff that maybe not every other brand is thinking about. But I'll tell you what, they're coming up with ideas that are solutions, and solutions is what drives business. What you need to know is to make sure that you're always up to speed with the latest innovations so you could do your customers a service and let them know that, yes, we have a solution for them. That's it for this CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. For more information on Memphis Car Audio, hit up their website on the screen below. We'll see you on the next one. Until next time, we connect.